Hey everybody, this is Steven from PopCultureMaven.com, and today we're going to be reviewing Barry Windsor-Smith's Monster. It's a 360-page original graphic novel that is really quite amazing. We'll get to that, but there's a little bit of backstory to this particular book. Originally, it was developed as a 20-page story at Marvel Comics for the Hulk. And then it just never, and something happened. It just never quite materialized. And then he, eventually he went, he took it to Vertigo. They picked it up, and there was some sort of problem. I don't know if it was the subject matter or the language, which is odd for Vertigo, but something didn't quite gel there, and so he continued to kind of develop it and work on it. Then there was a period where it was a Dark Horse, and they were going to do it as like a 7 or 8 issue, like a mini series. And then it just, once again, something happened, never quite materialized. So over the years, it's been about 35 years since the inception of the initial idea for this, that it's finally came out. And to say that it is worth the wait is a bit of an understatement. I mean, we all know that Barry Windsor-Smith is, just an incredible talent, not only as an obviously as an artist, but he's a really brilliant writer. And once again, I think the interesting thing about this is how really, this is, I don't say this lightly. This is seminal work. This is really what the comics medium can and should be. When it comes to like, really, not only is it, you can tell it's very personal, but it's just so, there's so many emotions and everything. And honestly, I read it last night, and I literally could not stop reading it. I mean, I took breaks because there's so much, but it really is just, it's really amazing. The basic story, centers around, a number of characters. I'll try to compact the story, the basic structure of the story. So you have Bobby Bailey, who is the quote unquote monster. You have his mother, Janet Bailey, his father, Tom Bailey. So it starts off with, that Bobby has been attacked by his father, lost his eye, and then there's a lot of time shifting in the story, but I will say the one thing about the time shifting, it never, he's very precise about the dates, the locations, so you never feel like you're lost. He goes to try to join the army, where he meets Elias McFarland, and then so and so there's Elias, his wife Bess, and then their daughter Nina, that play into the story. We also, there's Jack Powell, who is policeman slash government agent. We have Oscar Friedrich, which is the Nazi scientist, and then the other major character is Major Roth, who basically is an army major who's a complete jerk. Easy to pick. So Bobby goes in to try to join the army, and then Elias, he has like like a fractured memory and stuff of like his life and everything. So Elias hooks him up with Major Roth, and they're doing basically experiments, and that's where kind of they create the monster. And so what you have all these separate characters, and yet throughout the story they either meet or they weave in and out of each other. They all have all these characters are connected. But what's really interesting is how emotional the story is. As a matter of fact, first of all, it's to say it's gripping is a bit of an understatement. Like I said, I started reading it yesterday afternoon and just could not stop. I mean, I took breaks, but it's just there's so much to take in, that I have to say it's even going to be a book that maybe a few weeks from now I want to go back and read it again, because there's so much to take in. The first time you're just you're overwhelmed, that it's just amazing, not only in story, but Barry, his artwork is just it's just amazing, because once again, this is not like superhero stuff. This is character driven, story, deep, developing story. And also, characterization. There's so much emotion that he brings across in that artwork that is just absolutely stunning. And you really have to take your time reading it to let it all, really sink in, and let it basically envelop you. I mean, it's that type of story. And like I said, that's where the artwork, comes in. I think the other thing that's very interesting is that, on the surface, and you can kind of see where the genesis of this Hulk story is, once again, Hulk is always portrayed as a monster. So once again, when Bobby is experimented on and becomes like this monster, that is kind of the generic, monster, and stuff like that. But then as you read, you find out that monsters aren't necessarily creatures. Sometimes monsters are, your father, a relative, somebody in the army, a Nazi scientist. So I think what's interesting is monster on the surface, once again, as you see on the cover, it's kind of visually a Goliath monster. But, as you find out that monsters can take different shapes and different forms. What's interesting also is how he brings all these characters together. Like you'll be reading you read, there's the story takes place in like chunks. There'll be time periods and things like that. And there's also the interesting thing that Elias and his daughter Nina have what you would almost call like a second sight. They have this they're able to not necessarily see things, but they kind of a mystical sort of element. And that's interesting how that comes into play later in the story. And I certainly don't want to give too much away, but the way that he balances everything out, like the fact that they and I don't want to say they have powers or anything like that. They just have like a like a sixth sense. They can sense things. They can see things that other people that are there, but they other people can't see it for whatever reason, but they are able to see things. Like they have a feeling about something, or they can feel something coming on, or something's going to happen. It's that type of thing. And that really plays a big role in the last act of the book. But once again, Smith has done such a great job of setting everything up with the characters, and that's why that's what makes this book so amazing, is the characters and their stories, and you feel every emotion that they do. And that's rare in comics to do this well. Honestly, I really cannot think of a lot of work that is this really captivating and immersive, and just you feel it's a roller coaster of emotions, but that's what makes it so amazing, that he's able to weave this huge story, and yet once again there's the time shifts, and you never feel lost. You never feel like, I mean, there are some times where it's like, okay, is this that person? You might go back and look, are they talking about, Janet? Are they talking about Tom? Are they talking about, Elias, or, Friedrich and stuff like that? You might go back and look like that, but I was never felt like I was lost. I'm like, okay, I know it's a different time period, but is it, is this connecting to this? And that's where I think, a second reading of this book will really come into play, because you once you know the basic structure, you want to go back and really take things in a different perspective, because how the path of the story is going to go. You know what the ending is, but to go back and to reread this, I think, is going to be an amazing experience. And very few graphic novels really, attain this level. And I can tell you right now, and mark my words, that come next year with Eisner's and other awards, this is not only going to get nominated for a ton of stuff. I don't really see much stopping it from winning a lot of awards. I mean, this is, once again, it took 35 years, but, it's beyond worth the wait. I mean, rarely do you get something that, I mean, honestly, I was crying at the end of the story. I mean, it's that amazing. And I mean, very few comics have ever done that to me. And it's just, I really have to praise Fantagraphic Books for putting this book out. Not only, did they put it out, but the care and the, the packaging, it's a beautiful hardcover. It's Smith sewn, the paper stock's really nice. I actually really enjoy the fact that it's black and white, because I really think black and white's a medium that unfortunately is not used as well as it can be sometimes. I think black and white can be very powerful, and I think this book is one that really proves how amazing black and white can actually be. And Barry really, Smith takes really great advantage of that, black and white format to visually, do things, because you can do things with shadows and stuff like that really work a lot better in black and white than they do in color. And this is really proof of that. So I cannot highly recommend this book enough. This is like I said, it's seminal work, and I do not say that lightly. There's very, very few comics that really attain that seminal stature. This is one of them, and it is actually, another bargain. It's only $40, and that is an absolute steal for a project with this size and this scope. And the amount of detail to the story and the art is just, it's great. It's absolutely great. And I mean, I'll agree, part of the reason why they're able to do it a bit cheaper is because it is black and white and there's not the color separation. But honestly, I think color would just not work. And, I'm not saying it would ruin the story, but it really, it works so much better in black and white. I really recommend this book. I can't recommend it enough. It's absolutely, I mean, if you read comics and you want to see what comics can actually be and do, this is that book. Barry Windsor's Monsters. I'm going to hold it up again because it's that just absolutely amazing. This is, you really just go buy this book. Just it is absolutely amazing. So that's going to do it for this review. Everybody take care. And make sure you support your local comic shops. My comic shops, Pulp Fiction, Long Beach, Pulp Fiction Comics in Long Beach, California. It's a great store. Ryan Nanny wrote a great store there, and they, as a matter of fact, he's already got some more on order. So if you missed it locally, he is getting some more in. If not, contact your local comic shop and really get a hold of this book. That's going to do it for this review. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll have our regular comic reviews later on this week. All right, take care. Bye bye.